Hello everyone, I'm Eadz, and I'm playing Classic World of Warcraft Hardcore on a Crush, and today I'm going to present you how to solo the Welling Caverns on a Rogue. My Rogue is currently level 24 at the beginning of this video, and I'm just going over the gear that I'm currently using. I'm well aware that this is not full biz gear, but better gear is honestly not required. I'm just buffing up, but I will preserve the world buffs for later, because for clearing trash they are not needed. Soon I will do a couple of trash mobs just to demonstrate that world buffs are not necessary for doing them. As you can see, the trash mobs are really not dangerous. So using world buffs would speed it up, but it's also a waste of the world buffs, because you can just use them for something else. Just showing you a few more mobs and then I will just skip right to the first boss. I decided to start with the turtle. As you can see, the turtle boss is actually stunnable. Whenever you see that dungeon boss is stunnable, doing them on the rogue is kinda easy. You can build up combo points really easy. You can also just stun them and bandage yourself. And especially beginning at level 20, bandaging is actually quite OP, because you can just use the heavy rune glove bandages with skill 225. That means you can just heal up to full within the duration of stun. You see I barely even lose any HP, and the XP gain from this boss was actually really nice. I need to clear a couple of mobs here before I can actually do the second boss, which is currently marked as a skull. I decided to kill the ad first and to just kite the boss, because casters with their cast animations are really easy to kite. They don't really hit you that much if you kite them well. See, I barely lost any HP and got rid of the trash mob. This is the first time I'm actually doing the Welling Caverns solo on the rogue. I've been doing many dungeon runs before, but never the Welling Cavern. So I'm especially cautious at the beginning of every first attempt. As you can see, I'm a bit worried about the second mob coming in, but I decided to burst the boss. Iron grenades are really strong because they stun the targets, which means they don't just do DPS, but they also reduce damage you take. Really nice XP gain again, and let's go to the next boss. Sometimes I clear all the trash mobs on the way to the bosses if I'm trying to make sure that there's an escape path for me. But in this dungeon, you can always just jump off somewhere, so it's really not necessary. And that's why I decided to just skip clearing most of the mobs. As you can see, doing these bosses turns out to be really simple. And in contrast to the death mines, it's actually possible to stun most mobs in the Wailing Caverns, like including almost all of the bosses, which makes the Wailing Caverns way easier than actually doing the death mines. I'm currently running world buffs as well, so killing those mobs is a breeze. I honestly think the additional damage from the world buffs is not even necessary to do the better part of the dungeon with the appropriate gear and consumables. I think the Arena Grandmaster trinket is a bit like having a patchery just from the start of the game. It's not like it allows you to get out of the dungeons by just half stunning or something, because you will get interrupted, but it basically gives you 20 seconds of immunity to all damage, which means you can just activate sprint and run away. You also can just kill the mobs because, well, basically doubles your effective HP, making fights trivial mostly. So having the Arena Grandmaster, if you can get your hands on it, adds to the safety of your character, especially when doing dungeons like this. I'm also trying to preserve the cooldown on it as much as I can, just to keep it for a good measure. This boss is really easy as well. The boss I was most worried about is the next one, the Eadhackstwo, because it is very well known to be one-shotting or two-shotting like all the tanks from time to time. I used evasion on this boss for whatever reason, so I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes to get the cooldown back, because having evasion for Eadhackstwo is really strong. As I said, I was a bit scared about this boss, but there's one mechanism to this area that actually makes it pretty safe, I think. Because you can just jump into this pit that you're going to see me jump into after I've killed the boss, and just half stun out or reset the dungeon by just walking out. So there should always be a very easy mechanism to just get out of his fight if needed. You see, he hits me for like 250 damage if he hits me, but since my evasion made him miss most of the attacks, it was actually not too dangerous. I'm also just using the NPC as a tank again, so I don't need to take as much damage all at once. But both my HP and the HP of the NPC didn't drop too much, so at my current gear level this seems to not be required. Doing dungeons solo on Rogue is probably the easiest among all classes. I'm not so sure which other class could actually do it, but since you can even just stealth through like all the boring and long-winded parts of dungeons, leveling in a dungeon as a rogue solo is for sure the most effective, like time-effective way of leveling hardcore. As you can see, I just stunned this end boss with the grenade. So doing wedding caverns on the rogue is extremely easy and safe, because on this boss, if it was needed, I could just stun him, activate sprint, run a couple of meters, and bandage myself to full. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try to do as many dungeons solo as possible, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.